Welcome back, everybody. Very excited, very excited today about today's podcast, and I'll tell you why. We don't have anybody this week, as sometimes do happen that we have very busy mining people that are, doing what they're doing best, and that's mining, breaking rock, maintaining equipment, looking after the finances, doing what they do best. But I'm excited, and I want to talk to you today about something that's, just very close to my heart. It's a management time model that I've developed over the years, and I call it the society stick model. Now, for those that are not watching on YouTube and you're just listening to this podcast, now a society stick is in English called a kebab. But the Afrikaans, and it's Afrikaans term, we use societies. It's basically pieces of meat or fruit or veggies that you put on a wooden stick and you put it on a barbecue. And this is a model that helped me over the years to manage my priorities and manage my life, and also have a very good communication session with the leadership team that I was working with. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about priorities, but also managing our life and the time we have at work to focus on the important things and let the less important things go away so that we can achieve something on a day-to-day basis. So that's what today is all about. It's not going to be super long, but I do want to acknowledge just my wife. She has prepared a plate for me so that it's nice and visual. For those, once again, that's only listening to the podcast, it's a plate full of fruit and various colors that makes it colorful for YouTube. And it just helps explaining this a little bit better. Okay, so let's start with this model. What is it about? Now, for those just listening, you need to imagine a wooden stick with a sharp point on the one end and a blunt point on the other. And what you do is you put different pieces of meat or vegetables, you put it on this wooden stick, and you can imagine that you're going to put this on a barbecue or a braai, that the way we say it in South Africa. We have a lot of international people listening, so this is something uniquely South African in a way, except mine is very veggie and fruity today, in terms of this podcast, just to make it a little bit more visual. So what does that mean? So the model is very simple. So when I join a team new for the first time, and we have to have a conversation, I really try and have a conversation with each team member one-on-one within the first week or 2 weeks that I've joined a team. And we sit down and we talk about what's working, what's not, getting to know them, getting to know their families. But then I also make time to explain the society stick model. Okay, so what is this? So if you look at the length of the stick, they're all at different lengths, and sometimes you have short ones, and I do have a short one here, and you will be able to see that the two of them are not the same length. And what that is it's a representation of your day at work. So sometimes we work a normal 8-hour day, like this one here, the one at the bottom, but sometimes we work a much longer day, and that longer day is 9 hours, 12 hours, some of us even pushing further than that, which is unfortunately quite normal for a lot of us. The problem that we sit with is that you have key deliverables every day that you have to deliver, and the pieces of meat or the pieces of vegetable or the pieces of fruit that you see on the stick represent the key activities, the important stuff that you have to get done during that day. Now, they've got different colors, so imagine the red ones are the very most important ones. So you cannot drop those balls. So here's the problem. So a lot of the times in our lives, we add more things. Everything is important. And I'm adding a piece here. And because we add more stuff to do, we end up filling this stick. Oh, I had juice in my eye there. We end up adding and adding and adding and adding work and responsibilities and the likes to people in their lives. And we expect them, and I must make sure that I don't hurt myself now, and we expect people to do everything, but the stick is just that long. So what happens if you keep on adding and adding and adding? What happens on the other side of the stick is that as you add to the one side, and I'm struggling now to make this work, and I actually did prepare for this. As you add to the one side, you can just add as much as you like, but then you have one of two options. You start squeezing the pieces together, so they're no longer the same quality. And also, if you add on the one side, at the other end, pieces will start falling off. And this red piece, which was like second on the stick, is a really important job that you just cannot drop this ball. And I call it sometimes last balls and a crystal ball. And you drop this ball. And then a very important thing that you should be looking after every day or every week is starting to fall off. Now, that's one thing that can happen in your life, and it's quite simple. So the other one is you just make the stick longer. What does that mean? You make your work life longer. So instead of working your 9 hours or your 10 hours a day or your 8 hours, you start working 11 hours, 12 hours. So you make the stick longer so that you can add more pieces, more work, more activities, more tasks, more important projects that you have to deliver for that day or for that week. The problem with that is it's not sustainable. What do I mean? Well, nobody can work effectively, efficiently 13, 14, 15-hour days, 5, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, and think that their lives will remain balanced and healthy. We will sacrifice family, or we will sacrifice our health. We will sacrifice free time, exercise, diet. We will do all sorts of things that take the balance of a healthy lifestyle out of kilter, and it's not sustainable. So the price will be paid. The price will be paid with a divorce, with broken relationships with your children, with your health, with your well-being, your emotional health. Maybe your family you won't any longer will be visiting friends and having a bit of, relaxation time, which are all important. I've just listened, I think there's a book out of the last bit. It's called Just Take 1 Minute. Forgotten the author's name now, but I was listening to a podcast over the weekend, and this lady also did many years in corporate, and she wrote this book about just taking a minute, just taking a bit of time. Just take time out. Just take time out to think, time out to relax, time out to do what charges your battery as well. So if we have a jam-packed society stick, if this thing is full, and we just keep adding more, and we squeeze everything, what happens to the quality of what's on that stick? It falls off, or it loses shape, it loses its taste. It's no longer the same. And that's what we do to our people as leaders. We just add more and more and more, and they end up becoming less effective in what they're doing. They become less effective as husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, partners, friends, family members, less effective in terms of bringing creativity to work, thinking outside the box, coming up with solutions. It just becomes a grind every day, in and out, a grind. So I'm going to put this down now so that I can look at you. So one of the things that I've been doing for the last 10 plus years is have a conversation with my leadership team about What are the important things on their society stick? You see, I'm not supposed to know exactly or do exactly what they did, especially if you're in a generalist role like the COO, or, the CEO or GM or, whatever manager position you hold. You start becoming more of a generalist the more you go up in managing and leading people. And you trust that your people that are the specialists in their different fields, that they are looking after their own society stick. You see, say they have different priorities to you. They have different jobs to do to what you're doing. If we all do exactly the same, then we're not structuring the organization properly. We should be doing things differently. We all have different functions of what we do. And it's up to you as a leader to have a conversation with your team to say, what are the important things on your society stick that you need to manage and make sure they don't drop off, or the quality, they don't get squeezed? What are they? And the thing is, my agreement with my team has always been, it's your job to tell me, Christo, my society stick is full. There's no more space. Tell me what I should drop. These are the priorities I think of that's important that we should not drop. Maybe we can park a few for a few months or a few weeks or a few days so that we can deal with this crisis. But we cannot be in crisis mode every day, every week, every month, for a whole month, month on month on month. That's not sustainable. Then you're doing something wrong. Then you're not finding sustainable solutions. Then you need to create a different alternative, a different solution. And we never have time to think about that because our society stick is full. We run from work to home to commitments in the community, just to come back to work, home, community. We're in a rat race going around in circles. It's your job as leader to enable your team to speak up about their society stick. Yes, maybe it's okay. And I've worked long days, and my wife and my family knows that there are certain times that I do put in the hours, but I don't do that all the time. I don't work those 13-hour days, week on week on week on week, week in, week out, because I know, and they know, it's not sustainable. It's just, you won't last. You won't be creating a better future by doing that. So with my team, it's very important that I have them give me that feedback and speak openly about that society stick. What's full? What do we take off? I'll take this one off now. Don't need it right now. This is a key priority that must come back on. We need to deal with this crisis immediately. Maybe there's something else that we need to deal with. We bring that back up, but we have space. We must have space in our lives to do this well. So what are you doing with your team? Are you allowing enough space for the important tasks, the important jobs to do? Do they have enough time to think about long-term solutions, sustainable solutions? Or do you just keep on adding and never have the conversation of what is it that we park? What is it that we leave for now? What do we need to stop doing? What do we need to start doing? And sometimes it's just asking that simple question of what's not adding value to the organization or to us as a team? How can we shape this meeting differently? Why is it a 2-hour meeting? Why is it not half an hour? Why are we doing this? Does this meeting or this get together still serve a purpose? The ability to challenge ourselves about the society stick is super important to run efficient and productive organizations. And more importantly, look after the people. It is the people that will come up with the solutions. It's people that think out of the box. They will never be thinking out of the box and coming up with solutions if they are squeezed up, if they are running around and around in circles on a treadmill with no time to breathe, no time to rejuvenate, no time to take some good nutrition in, have the muscles recover, get sleep, get rejuvenated, charge their batteries with exercise or with family, they will not get into that creative space if we continue running around like that. So that's my societistic model for you today. Very short. I hope you're getting something from this. It really works in my life, and it has been working for me for a while now. And I hope that it will add value to your life. Thank you so much for all the feedback that we're getting from this podcast. Thank you for adding value in your communities, adding value to your family, adding value to your teams, adding value to the mining industry. We know that you are enjoying this. Thank you for the feedback. Tell us what's not working. Tell us what we should start doing. And thank you to all our guests that come to this podcast most of the weeks, and you come and share your stories, and you share your learnings and your mistakes and your failures, but also your successes. Happy mining, break the rocks, and enjoy doing that. Cheers.